Hello everyone, my name is Henry and welcome to the Minecraft how-to series. So we're here in our beautiful little new mining entrance that we made on our last long play video. But don't worry, this is not going to be where we're making the series. We're going to be setting up a new world very shortly. I just wanted to, have something to look at while I go through what this series is going to be about before we head on over to the Minecraft menu to set up our new world. So this series, the how-to series, we're going to be, in essence, looking at many of the different aspects of Minecraft. I want to be going over everything I've learned in my many years of playing. So each episode we're going to be focusing on a different aspect, such as crops, animal farming, redstoning, and all of those little things. So now that that is out the way, I guess we just head on over to our new Minecraft world and see what we spawn in. So we're here on our new Minecraft world. We're going to be going obviously single player and creating a new world. So I think for this world name, we're going to be calling this the how to. Now the Minecraft how to. And then we need to look into the different options so we can help you understand how to set up the different games. So first of all, if we go into more, there are the different things that you can toggle and change. These are such as like the new snapshots for the game, as well as data packs that you might want to install yourself. So we're not really going to be going over that because it doesn't affect how we're doing this series. Then if you're looking into the world category, you can change the type of world that will generate. There's the standard normal Minecraft type, super flat, which adds more challenges. There's no mountains and there's also no cave systems underground. And worlds where you can have the biomes being much larger, but also an amplified world where, the world generates much more randomized with much more jagged peaks, and it's a very much more haphazard world to try and work in. So we're going to be going, or alternatively, I also forgot, you could just have a world with only a single biome. So we're going to be going for the default world, and I don't have a seed picked out. Every different number of seed will generate a different world. So we're going to basically not do this, and we're going to see what world we get in for our game. So then looking at this, we have the different game modes that you can choose when you are trying to start your new world. And most importantly, there are three here. Creative gives you creative freedom. You can fly around for free. You have unlimited blocks, and it's a great way to figure out your builds freely without having to get all the resources. Survival is your standard game. Out exploring, you can die, but when you die, you do respawn to your closest bed, or if there is no bed, you will go back to the world spawn. But then the other version is hardcore. Now, hardcore Minecraft been very popular recently with everyone, and for hardcore Minecraft, you only have one life. So if you die, the game is over and you can never work on it ever again. So for this series, we're gonna go with survival. No cheats, we don't want to be doing that. And we're going to keep the game difficulty to normal. So easy, normal, and hard, they basically affect how your hunger bar depletes as well as your health gain and decreases. And peaceful, there are no hostile mobs if you want a very nice and easy game. However, that does restrict you. If there are no hostile mobs, there are some items you might be very difficult to get, and you obviously can't make any mob farms. Apart from that, I think that covers more or less everything we need for the world setup. So after that, we're just going to load in and see what we get. So once you've spawned into your new Minecraft world, normally for me, the priority, and I think for most Minecraft players, is to find your nearest tree and to get the wood that is required. And we're going to be using this wood to get our first ever tools for the game and then quickly upgrade to stone tools. That's normally the gameplay that I normally do. So what we do, we can put our oak logs into here and turn them into oak planks. Now, the thing after this is we need to make a crafting bench. So when you have a stack of items like this, if you right click, you will pick up half of the stack. However, if you have the whole stack and you right click over a square, you will place in one of each item. So we're going to do that, which will give us our first crafting table. Now the thing about the crafting table, so in your personal inventory, you can craft in a 2x2 square only. However, if we use the crafting table, it expands into a 3x3, so you can make much more elaborate recipes. And if you don't know the recipes, you have the little book of knowledge here that if you click, opens up into everything that you know. You can toggle between the things that are available to craft with the resources you have, or you can also see everything you know, and then it will, clicking on it will show you what you need to make it. So for now, what we're going to do, we're using 2 different planks. So if you want to do it by yourself, again, right click and right click will give us 4 sticks. And with the sticks, we are going to immediately bump ourselves up to a wooden pickaxe. And the main reason for that is because I want to quickly upgrade to stone tools, as the durability of those is much... Oh, we've already fallen and nearly died, but we have actually found coal, so that's not too bad. So let me just gather up some stone and then I will get back to you. And getting your first pieces of stone will give you one of your first advancements for Minecraft, which is the Stone Age. So with our initial cobblestone, what we're going to do, again, using our 2 sticks, in fact, we will make some more very quickly. With our sticks, we are going to quickly upgrade to a stone axe. So for a stone axe, you go 1, 2, 3 here. And then we're going to upgrade from our wooden pickaxe, again, using the cobblestone like this, to upgrade into a stone pickaxe. Now, the reason I've upgraded to stone as you progress, you do want to be improving your tools as quickly as possible. And that is for one important reason, and that is the stronger your tool, the quicker they will break things, but also the higher durability they have. So as you can see here, for the wooden pickaxe, the overall durability is 59. You can use this 59 times before it will break. However, for the stone pickaxe, we've already upgraded to 131 uses before it's going to break, and we have to craft a new one. And what you're going to be wanting to do to actually toggle this so you can see it is on your keyboard, you're going to be pressing F3 and H. So F3 and H is going to toggle the tooltips on and off. So as you can see, now I can't see them, but if I do F3 and H again to show them, we can now see our durability. So after this, we've got our stone tools. I think the best and easiest thing to do would be to go around and collect some food, because the food is the easiest way to obviously keep surviving. Now, as you'll notice, I have the hunger bar next to my hearts, and that will slowly go down over time if I do more exerting things. For example, if I'm walking around, it's fine, but if I start running, the hunger bar will slowly go down, and that's what you need to eat the food for, because food will also act to serve and heal you should your hearts go down when you take damage from enemies or even from falling. As you can see, because we've already been running around, our hunger has already depleted by 1. Now, in addition to food, the most important thing you're gonna need is sheep. You're gonna need to make a bed. If you die without a bed in Minecraft, you are going to be taken back to the world spawn. Now, our world spawn was just over there where we first loaded in. So if we die, it's not too bad. However, when your world gets bigger and you're starting to, get further away, you don't necessarily want to die and come all the way back here, because then you're gonna have to be traveling for a long distance. So later on, we'll be able to get the sheep's wool through the use of shears when we get iron. But for now, the only way to get it is unfortunately by killing the sheep. And we're going to need 3 wool to be able to craft an initial bed. And now that we have the 3 wool, we can go ahead and make our bed. And I should also say, I'm not sure where the sheep has gone. You notice there was a sheep of a different color. When you are making your bed, the most important thing you're going to need is 3 wool of the same color. You cannot mix and match the colors. You can't use 1 white and 2 black, for example. They all have to be the same color, because the bed itself, which is a recipe like this, 1, 2, 3, will make only 1 color. You cannot have a multicolored bed. If you want to also dye your bed, you can quickly go around if there's any flowers available, and you can take these flowers and you can turn them down into different dyes. For example, dandelion will give you yellow, cornflower blue, the oxide daisy light gray, or the poppy will give you red. And similarly, some of these, once you have them, you can combine them to make two different colors. So red and yellow will give you orange, and then the blue and the red will give you purple. So I'm going to do purple. That's normally the color that I make, and just putting them next to each other will give you the bed. And the sun is rising or setting? I'm not too sure at this point. So with that out the way, you just put your bed down and right click. Once you've right clicked, this is now your spawn point. So if we do die now, we will come back to here. And now that nighttime is fast approaching, it's probably best to sleep for the night so that we don't die. But also we don't want mobs spawning the first night because we have no real way of defending ourselves. So it's best to head on over to sleep. And that will give you the next advancement of sweet dreams, and that will reset your day back to the morning. You got through the night and no mobs luckily spawned. So on your second day, what's the best thing to be doing? So I think initially what is always a good idea, if we just quickly go and get some more wood, is to craft a chest to start storing our items. Now for a chest, it's going to be needed to be crafted on the crafting table, and you're going to change all your oak logs to the oak plant. And quite simply, we're going to go all the way around to make a chest like so. And I'm going to make 2 for now, and I'll show you why. So when it comes to storage, your normal chest has a grid of 9 by 3. However, if you place another one next to it, they will connect, and it gives you double the capacity. And now we can use this to store all of our items to give us a bit more free space. Now, the thing is, because we've been running around, our health is a bit low. So the best thing to do now would be to cook up some food from all the animals we've killed. Now, if we wanted to, we could eat the meat raw. However, it's not going to fill in much of our hunger bar. So the best thing we want to be doing right now is to find a way to cook it. And that's where the coal we found previously starts to come into play. And once you do this, we're going to start getting our first bits of coal. Cooking problems of the start of the game, and that's through the use of a campfire. So for that, we're going to need some more wood, which we've already crafted into planks. So we're going to quickly have to run over and get this tree. And so to make the campfire, as you can see, we're going to use 3 of the oak logs, 3 sticks, and only 1 piece of our coal to make a campfire. And I feel that the campfire is much more useful at the start of a game as opposed to this item using 8 cobblestone pieces, which is the furnace. For example, the furnace will also cook up your food, and it will also smelt down some ores later on when we get them, such as iron, gold, and diamonds. However, this will need a constant supply of coal, whereas the campfire, as long as you don't put it out, will continue to burn, and you can cook 4 pieces of food at a time. If you just leave it on here, after a short while, the food will cook and instantly come off, and you can instantly collect it. Cooked food, and we can instantly replace it with more. And the reason we want to be cooking this food is because it provides a much better source of nourishment. As you can see, it only took 2 to fill up over half of my hunger, which is vastly superior to the raw food itself. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to wait a little while for all of this food to cook up, and then I think the next thing I normally do when it comes to your first few days in Minecraft is to do a little bit of exploring to figure out what is lying around in your area that you can collect that will help you at the start of your game. So we have a decent amount of food for the time being to just keep us going while we have a bit of an exploration. So what I would recommend doing next after this is using your little bit of coal that you do have, using the coal and the sticks like this. You can also handcraft this in your 2x2. One coal and 1 stick will give you 4 torches. So we're going to end it with 8 torches. Now the torches, at least in this version in Java, you can place them in your offhand, so when you're walking around at nighttime, the area will light up just a little bit. But I would also recommend that you put down a torch where you are based so that you can find your way back here. Alternatively, you can press F3 to take a look at your XYZ coordinates, or if you have some quality of life mods like I do, you'll be able to see your coordinates in the top left hand corner, sorry, of the screen. I would normally take the bed with me, so if it turns to nighttime I can sleep, but for now let's just sleep this night away here before we go off with a little bit of exploring to see what we can find to better set us up in this new world. So now that we slept the night away, I'm going to take our bed with us. So we have to try not to die. Again, like I said, you would end up at the world spawn, but we are lucky our world spawn was right there. So let's go and see what kind of things we can find that would be useful initially for your Minecraft world. And already here we can find sugarcane. Now sugarcane is very useful. If you were far from base, I would recommend picking it up and bringing it back with you. However, for now, we're just going to knock down the extra that is growing and plant some more down, as sugarcane can be used for some cooking recipes to make sugar, which also helps in some potions, but also you can use it to make paper to trade with villagers, and also to make books and things for later. And the only thing about sugarcane is it does have to be placed down next to a water source. It can be on soil, mud, or even on sand, as long as it is next to a block of water. And it looks like when we head up here that we actually are on a rather large ocean. So at some point it would be best sailing over there to see what other biomes there are. And of course, if you want a better view of what is available, you can go on your options onto your video settings and change up your render distance just to see what is out further away. Now it will cause your game to load again, so you will have to check. As you can see, we have some turtles already in our local area. That might be a sunken ship, which would be useful for exploring later. And I'm going to climb up this hill here to see what else is available to us. And it looks like we have a pretty decent mining expedition for later on. We can get some more coal, and it looks like down here that we already have some iron available to us, as well as some copper. So this will be where we're going to go when we do our mission into how to find iron in Minecraft. And at the top of this hill, it looks like we have some very good other biomes available to us already. It looks like over here we actually have a cherry blossom biome, which will give us a new wood type. Over here, there doesn't seem to be too much, at least right now as it loads in. However, we do already have access to pumpkins, and we're going to pick in fact, we're not going to pick this up yet for today. This is going to be in our crop episode, but it's good to know that they are already close nearby, and you can often find patches of them like this out in the overworld as you're exploring. And heading to the highest point at least available to us in our local area just to get a better look, we can see again the cherry blossom biome a bit clearer now as we're up on the hill. And in fact, we have a village close by here, which is definitely worth us exploring in this first video, as it might help us with our initial food problems in regards to bread and wheat, which will be freely available in piles. And as we come up on the village, always be careful when you're walking around that you don't accidentally jump into a hole. They can be quite well hidden even amongst the grass, so definitely worth noting as you're out exploring. Now the villages are useful when you initially start in Minecraft. As you can see, there's again some pumpkins readily available out in the overworld, because they can potentially jumpstart you a little bit in regards to armor or certain resources. In some of the villages you will find these, and these are bales of hay. Bales of hay are very, very useful to you at the start of your game due to one interesting reason. So the hay bales themselves you can handcraft, and they will turn into 9 pieces of wheat. And those, if you put 3 together like this, you can get an easily accessible piece of bread. Now, bread is not as good as cooked meat, for instance. However, it is a good, easy staple if you find a village that will tide you over in the early game before we start our crop farming. So the quickest way to break these would be to use a hoe. To make a hoe, what we're gonna do, again, using the sticks with the 2 planks, we're gonna take our sticks like this, and then we put 2 pieces here to make a hoe. I'm also going to turn down our render distance now that we found a few of the things we needed, as it can make your game run a little slower, as we just saw with the lag while I was recording. Upgrading to the stone hoe, it's a much quicker breaking speed than the other tools. And there's a lot of hay here, so it's definitely going to keep us going in the long run if we should run out of food before we start animal farming. And just there alone, we found 43 hay bales, which in 1 bale can turn into 1 piece of wood, 1 piece of bread, sorry. So we have in essence 129 pieces of bread now readily available to us, which isn't too bad for this early on in the game. So it's a case of what else is available to you in the chests inside the village. And already we're getting some extra bread, which is great, but we also managed to find some potatoes, which we can then use for crops later on. I'm going to leave some here for now, because we will be coming back when we do the episode on crop farming. And as well, if you're lucky, sometimes they do have farming pastures, again, which could be growing any number of crops depending on the type of village you are in. They could be potatoes, carrots, wheat, or even beetroot. However, for some reason, this village looks like it didn't spawn any in, which is unfortunate for us. However, there are some more hay bales that we can take. They also have some certain resources which will be very useful to us in the future for crafting certain things, such as this, which is the brewing stand. So we're going to take those with us if we should find them. It just makes it easier for us in the long run, as we won't have to craft them. You can also find other types of food, such as apples, and their houses also will sometimes have flowers, and also more of the tree saplings that we can grow back at our own home. So we were over there, so what I think, we're going to loop back around just to see what else is available in the immediate vicinity, and then we will head on home. However, one extra thing I think that is worth noting is in the village, we will come across iron golems, and if you tower up 3 high, you can hit them and they will not be able to hit you. And doing a jump and hit will cause a critical hit. When you're mashing the button like this, you can see the bar in the middle with the little vertical bar. If you're mashing it, you can't actually do a critical hit. So it's always better to jump and get the critical, or wait for your bar to charge so you can do stronger attacks. And as we take this down, you'll notice he's getting a little bit broken. And that will give us our first free piece of iron for in the game. And from that, you get acquire hardware. And we managed to get 3 pieces, which will actually help us a great deal in regards to certain things I want to do in the following episodes. It actually looks like quite close to where we were spawned up over there. There's actually another village that has spawned in. So again, a village is always worth checking, as you don't know what useful things you might find, because if the village also has a blacksmith, there is a small chance of not only diamonds, but also free iron armor, that will again help us a great deal, as right now we have no armor, not even leather. So we have no protection and can die rather quickly if we are attacked by any enemies. I do need to eat once again, because once your hunger hits only 3 pieces of meat, you can no longer run, which will slow down your exploration a lot. So that's also something else worth noting, is make sure you keep an eye on your hunger bar. And as you can see, this village actually does have a farm, and that is something we're going to come back to for our crop farming episode. But for now, we have even more hay bales that we can take, and we will explore this village and see what we get, which might be useful to us. So in here we managed to find our first diamond, which we can use for trading later on once we have a good certain amount. And as we head on closer to home now, it does look like we have found ourselves in a flower forest. And this is going to be very useful for us for later, for getting many of the different types of colored dyes that we don't already have. And it also means we can make flower farms for later to automatically have a constant supply of flowers for decorating. And it also appears that we do have a lava pool. We'll be able to use this later on, assuming the whole forest doesn't burn down by then. I think this tree is beyond saving at this point, but we will be able to use this to get our first pieces of obsidian rather easily later on down the line. And once we are back home, again, it's a case of plop your bed down, make sure you have your spawn point, and then you can assess and drop off all of the things that you have found. So in the village, we managed to find some workbenches, which will help us out greatly in the future. We also found our first diamond, which we can use for trading, and a little bit of iron from killing the iron golems, and of course some extra food from while we were exploring, which again we can just cook up for free on our existing campfires. And the final thing, using your F3, I would say, you can see that you have a client light level, which shows you the light level of the blocks that are around you. And as you can see here, as we walk away from the fire, the number slowly goes down to 0. Now, once we are at 0, that means that mobs can spawn here at nighttime when the sun isn't out. Of course, caves are different. They can constantly spawn in caves because there is no sunlight. So the best thing to do once you are started to set up in the space you want to live is to start putting down torches. Now, you can use the F3, like I said, to figure out where the 0 blocks are and start placing torches down. However, I use a small little mod called a mini hood where I can toggle the light levels, and I can immediately see here that it is quite dark, so I can be putting my torches down to create a little bit of a safe area around where we are living. And with that, I think it's safe to say that our first video is nearing completion. We have survived our first night in Minecraft. We have our necessary beginning tools, our bed, crafting bench, our initial storage, and our first stone tools. Our axe did break while we were killing a golem, but we can make a new one quite easily. And we also have iron for the future. And we have an easy source of food with the meat, as well as all of the hay bales that we've managed to find on our exploration. So thank you very much everyone for tuning in today. I hope you found it very useful. Next time we're going to be focusing on all of the different animals that you can farm in Minecraft. So we're going to be catching the cows, the pig, the sheep, and the chickens, and we're going to be talking into the logistics of breeding them and everything that you can do with them in addition to getting them just for their meat. So thank you everyone for tuning in to this episode of the Minecraft how-to. I hope it was very useful for you all, and I will catch you in the next one. So thank you everyone. Bye for now.